Hello, football fan. You are welcome to Football Extra Side. Today we are going to be doing a little preview of the match between Crystal Palace and Chelsea. And how is this match going to pan out? In the past 5 games, we could see how that Chelsea appears to struggle a little bit. If you look, let's first of all start with what Crystal Palace has been able to do in the past 5 games. We can see in the past 5 games for Crystal Palace that they drew 2 games, won 2, and lost 1. And particularly if you're looking at their record at their home ground, they've been it's been mixed result for Crystal Palace from home. For example, they drew against Manchester City and lost against Arsenal in a very bad way, and then won one game against Southampton. So normally this is the kind of game Chelsea goes into, and they feel like we can win this one. And for Chelsea, they've been kind of a little bit unlucky in the past 5 games that they played. In the match against Everton, that match shouldn't have taken place because, from all indication, the weather wasn't very good on that day. But Everton was able to get a draw. Fair to them. I mean, it's fair that they were able to get that point because they worked for it. But against Fulham, Chelsea had themselves to blame. They already had that game in the bag. It was few minutes to go. They just need to put their heads down and make sure to see the result out, which is going to be similar to what happened last season when Chelsea won by 1-0. And so we find a situation where this time around it looks like Ipswich, pull something that is not really common in football. They've been that team that were losing all their game, and one way or the other, they were able to get result against Chelsea. Now, this is where we're gonna move on to how this game is gonna pan out for Chelsea on Saturday, which is tomorrow. Well, first of all, is Chelsea in injury crisis? So it will seem, because right now, if you look at this, what you have on the screen right there, we see a situation whereby Reece James is coming back from injury, and Romeo Lafayette is also loading up to. He already started training, and Disbury Hall is still out. Wesley Fofana is going to be out for almost the entire season, and Badiashile are also out until February. So this is really not looking good for Chelsea, and this is because two of the guys in there are from the centre back position, and these are very reliable defender. At least when you look at the squad of Chelsea, and then you need to compare the defenders. Those are about few of their best central defenders, and now they are out. So what is that impact going to be for Chelsea? Badiashile is unavailable until February. That's a lot of matches in there. There's going to be a couple of matches in there that are going to be have been played before he returns, and this is not looking good. This is not looking good for Maresca. And another report today from the press report, from the press release from Chelsea, and during the press conference for the match between Crystal Palace and Chelsea, Enzo Maresca had to put it out there that unfortunately Wesley Fofana is going to be out for an entire season. It seems at this point. The initial feeling was that he's going to be out for 5 to 6 weeks, and then when they did the test again, it wasn't good at all. So this is not a good one for Wesley Fofana right there, and then this is beginning to look like. So what did Chelsea do immediately to resolve the problem? They brought in Aaron Anselmino. Aaron Anselmino is the name of the guy that is signed in the summer, and seeing what is going on, they just had to do something. Bring in your asset wherever they are. Let us not forget that Chelsea also has Trevor Chalobah with Crystal Palace, who they could call in anytime in this kind of situation. You may want to think about that in terms of experience. And this is what it looks like. Another positive story that we can egg out from the Chelsea side is the fact that their captain is going to see a few minutes against Palace. When Reece James comes back into this team and he plays, there is a measure of quality. There's a measure of skill that he adds to the team. And let's hope that that is really going to work out for Chelsea this weekend when they start out. I just want to quickly show us what the squad of Chelsea look like. The entire squad. This is what the entire squad looks like. This seems to have this three players who could play as a left wing back, and then they have these other two guys who could play as a right wing back. They have two strikers. They have three players who could play in number 10 position. They have other guys in the midfield like Disbury Hall, Omari Kellyman, and they also have other players like Chukwuemeka and Enzo Fernandez. And in the central defensive midfield role, they have Caicedo and then they have Lavia. These are what Chelsea has going into the season. And people look at this squad. If you look at the entire squad, it's about 33 players in there. And people were like, oh, what are they going to do with this numbers of players? And right now, even with that 33 players, it's looking like, do they really have players that they can take into a season to compete on three fronts or even four fronts? And the manager has done a good job. He's been able to divide the teams into two, has a few players like Chilwell out of the team, and then he's been able to balance things within the team. As the goalkeepers, they have four goalkeepers. We know it's only two of them that is going to be able to play. We have Sanchez, we have Philip Jorgensen, and of all the four goalkeepers, I think they only have one good goalkeeper in there, and that is Philip Jorgensen. And even for Jorgensen, is because of the way Maresca want to play. That is why I would say, well, that's the only goalkeeper right there. So I want us to look at this central defensive position right now. This is what Chelsea have as of today. This guy, a left-footed central defender, is injured. It's not going to be available until February. And so the only left-footed central defender you have is Levi Colwill. And then on the right center back position, you have this. It will look like, oh, this is stacked. But honestly, the only viable right center back here is Fofana. And he's going to be out for the entire season. So that leaves you with these three players. There's a player that is not on this list, and that is going to be Akinpong. Akinpong ought to be on this list. So now you have Akinpong, who is just like 18 years old. You have Ansemino, Haron Ansemino, who is 19-year-old kid. And then you have Disasi. Oh, dear Lord, Disasi. Oh, Axel. So we have a situation where sometimes you play Disasi in number 2 role here because James is injured. You only have Gusto, and you don't want to overstretch Gusto. So in my opinion, I think going forward, no matter what happens, please don't take Disasi out of this role. Make him a defender that defend the box. Get the ball, move it over to Cole or to whoever is playing on the right hand side to be able to play out. Don't really depend on this guy to be the guy on the board. So I think here we now have two senior central defender who could hold the fort down, and then the young players can come in at some point to support in other competition. This is what the squad look like. So what is our projection for tomorrow? The tomorrow squad, we think that tomorrow this is how Chelsea is going to set up, and this looks like exactly how they set up against Form. Is it Form? I think against Form this is how the setup. I'm not sure. I think this is how the setup against Form, and this is what it's looking like. If anything is going to change in this lineup tomorrow, it's going to be either Pedro Neto comes in for Madueke. Pedro Neto starts the game and Madueke comes in to finish the game, and Gusto starts at our BOU gets. I think he's gonna finish the game as well. At some point, James might come in for Gusto. It depends on how the game pans out and how the manager plan the game. What does the log look like as of yesterday? As of yesterday. So this is what the logs looks like. Liverpool is on top of the log with 19 games played. 18 games played. They still have one game in hand that is a potential win. This is a match against Everton. They're probably gonna win that one, and that takes them to 48 points in 19 games. That is very fantastic. That is a league winning number right there. And then Chelsea from 19 games, they're stuck at 35 points. And if they win the game tomorrow, that is going to shoot them above Arsenal and Nottingham Forest for a beat, just for a beat. And then we see what goes on from there. So if you want to look at the top six side of the table, this is what it looks like. And not looking bad for Chelsea, but normally they chew away 8 points recently, and at least it should have been maybe maximum of 4 point drops from 2 draws, 1 win. And if you had 4 to what they have right now, they're gonna be 39 points, just right next to Liverpool, which is where they should be. But this is where they are right now, and then everybody have to roll with that and move forward. And this is the lower side of the table. So we have a Crystal Palace that has 20 points from 19 games, lost about 7 games, drew 8 games, won only 4 games. Chelsea is going to be playing against them tomorrow, and I think the odd is in the favor of Chelsea. Chelsea should be winning this game. If they're winning, they can start the new year with a win, and we look forward to that. So, what are the players that could come from the bench for Chelsea tomorrow to boost them, to make them a lot competitive and win the game for them? We are projecting that Chelsea is going to come up with Reece James. They're going to have Joshua Akipon coming from the bench. They're also going to have Tyreek Jurt. They're going to have Felix coming from the bench and Madueke. I don't really want to see a situation where Nkunku is playing. I think Nkunku should just simply be reserved for the Europa Conference League, and we'll see what happens in that one. And who are the players that will be going out from Chelsea this transfer window? Kani Chukwuemeka is one candidate that has been tipped so many times to be the player that is already on his way out. We see Casade right there, and there are reports today talking about Renato Vega as well. So these 5 players here, Haxel the Sassi and Ben Chilwell, these are players that are most likely going to be heading out of Chelsea. Now, what is the goalkeeper situation for Chelsea tomorrow going to look like? Well, Robert Sanchez is error prone, very prone to error, and interestingly, Philip Jorgensen has not made a single error leading to a goal in all his professional football matches in any competitive match yet in his career. That's impressive. So if I'm to choose between these two players, these two goalkeeper, I think my clear choice is going to be Philip Jorgensen, and this Jorgensen is the player that I think we be able to adapt to Maresco's style. What is our prediction for the scoreline tomorrow? I think Chelsea is going to win this one, and I'm expecting Chelsea to win this one and also maintain a clean sheet, and it's going to be 3-0. Of recent, we've been way off. The last game I thought Chelsea was going to win that match 2-0. They lost 2-0. So the other game as well, I thought Chelsea was going to win maybe 3-1 or 3-0. I can't remember exactly what my projection was. And they turned out losing 1-2. And against Everton, I thought they're going to win 2-0. And they also drew that one too. So maybe this time around, I'm gonna be able to, smile and say, "Yeah, I told you." So if you love this, if you like this content that we have brought to you today, please remember to like, share, and turn on the notification button so that next time we have new content, you're going to be alerted to it, and then you can have some of this material and content that we bring your way. Until we will be seeing you in the next one. Ciao.